Hi, my name is Dave Measle. I'm the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Peer Support Coalition, and we are really excited to be presenting these videos today. We just continue to grow and continue to do whatever we see is necessary to support the profession of peer services. Which brings us to this video, or these videos. One of the things that we recognize through conversations with other peer specialists and through our own experiences, because most of us who work here and are on the board of directors are peers ourselves. One of the things that we recognized was the need to have some more information out there about what a typical day of a peer specialist looks like. You know, what are the real world things that a peer specialist encounters. The 2-week training is amazing, and as I said, most of us are peers here at the Coalition. We've all been through one of the 2-week trainings, and we all walked out of that training feeling super inspired and super ready to go out and do this work and uplifted, which is awesome. But we wanted to provide some additional information about some of, again, the real world experience of a peer specialist. What does the day-to-day life of a peer specialist look like? What are some of the challenges that peer specialists face while providing this service? Our original vision was to create some in-person classes that people could come to and get information on, and we would create, slideshows and, PowerPoints and things like that. When we actually started to pursue that or discuss it more, it became clear that that wasn't going to be the best, most efficient way to achieve what we wanted to with this project. So then we kind of evolved and moved into creating this series of videos. And so then what we did is we went out and we started talking to other peer professionals, people who are on the ground doing the work face-to-face with peers on a daily basis. So that we could get their perspective on it. We had our own perspectives from our own experiences, but we wanted to gather as much as we could from other peer professionals across the state as well. So we started having these conversations. We sent out surveys, we had focus groups, all around this idea of what would you have liked to have known prior to taking the 2-week course. Knowing what you know now, as a certified peer professional, what's the information that would have been helpful to you before you decided to move in this field or move in this direction? And what we got from these discussions were kind of 6 basic areas that people really felt like they would have liked more information, in making a decision to move into peer work. None of them said that they hoped or wished that they had not moved into this field, but not all were still in the field either. But there were 6 areas that people really wanted more information or would have liked more information. And the areas included things like, what does the day-to-day life of a certified peer specialist look like? What does a day in the life of look like? What does documentation look like? I didn't know anything about documentation before I became a certified peer specialist. I would have liked to have known more. What does the actual certification process look like? How do I become certified? Information on ethics and boundaries. I would have liked to have had more information on that. What does the process through the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation look like? So we took these things and we said, okay, these are the things that we're being told that people wanted more information on. And we developed a set of questions around those topics. And then we went out and we set about finding subject matter experts in Pennsylvania. People who had done the job, who had, been a face-to-face peer for years and had a lot of experience doing this work so that they could share their insights with you. And so we started meeting with them, and what we did is we just set up a camera and sat down and we asked all of them the exact same set of questions, gathering information on these topics that we had been told were things that, you know, people would have liked to have known. And so the following videos is really the result of these interviews, of talking to, as I said, you know, very experienced, very well-spoken, certified peer specialists who had a lot of knowledge and a lot of insight to share. So we hope that these videos are going to be viewed by people who are interested in becoming peer professionals, who maybe want a little more information, for people who maybe aren't interested in becoming peer professionals but want to know more about what are peer professionals, like what do peer professionals do. So we're putting these videos out there as an educational piece to teach people or to inform people on peer services and what they are and what a day-to-day life looks like for an individual who does the work and is on the front lines every day. We have really enjoyed making these videos and meeting with these subject matter experts. They have all been amazing partners to work with on this project. We believe what we have to present to you is some really good information, and we certainly hope that you're able to take away some great, helpful, insightful information that will help you make a decision on whether or not you want to become a peer professional. Or if you're not becoming a peer professional, we hope there's information in these videos that you can take away and walk away and say, huh, now I really get it. I understand what a peer professional is. I understand the work that they do. I understand how important the work that they do is for the community. On behalf of everyone at the Pennsylvania Peer Support Coalition, I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch the videos. Know that we are here, that the coalition exists to support peer professionals and those who support the profession as well. So, you know, if you need us for anything, we are here. Our contact information is in the videos. Feel free to reach out to us. But most of all, thank you for taking the time to watch the videos. And again, we hope that you really get some good information out of them and find them useful. Thank you.
Yeah, self-care is very important. It's a critical component. It's built into all of our ethical codes. Taking care of yourself you cannot take care of others and provide services to others if you are not taking care of yourself. And we often put ourselves last because we are giving so much over to those we are serving. So it does have to be in the forefront, which is why it's so important and why it's built into our codes of ethics, that you do have to take care of yourself. And we often see with ethical complaints that we get that often certified professionals find themselves in these sticky situations because they have not been taking care of themselves and overworking themselves, putting in too many hours, not letting things go at the end of the day, continuing to work when they get home at night. And that's not going to do anybody any good.
We are such caring people, right, that we want to be there for someone else. And I think that if I'm not careful, that wanting to be there for someone else supersedes me being there for me. And then they force me to take some time off.
One of the most important things, one of the most difficult things to do is self-care, is to take that time away to take care of yourself. It's so important because, again, you can't feed others, you can't pour out an empty cup, and my cup has run dry on several occasions.
And in life in general, we should take care of ourselves. We have better outcomes when we do that. But especially in these positions where we're like, you know, giving our life's energy to the people we work with, that has to be replaced somehow, somewhere, some way.
Self-care becomes important because, we can only give what we have in us. As they say, you can't pour from an empty cup. If my cup is empty at home, then it's going to be empty at work. Because at home it's going to create problems where, my daughters are saying, Daddy was supposed to do this with me and he came in and passed out because he was so tired from work. That sets a tone that's hard to bounce back from if you get in the habit of doing it.
But knowing when you need to take a break, when you've emptied yourself of compassion and empathy is really huge. And over the years I've been able to come to identify when I need a break, when I need to relax, when I'm approaching compassion fatigue.
For myself, when I have not taken care of myself, I have seen consequences. I have been extraordinarily stressed. I make more mistakes. My judgment isn't as good when I'm not taking care of myself.
Where I like to call it, 8, 8, and 8. 8 hours of work, 8 hours of family time, 8 hours of sleep. If I'm working 8 hours, I have to be able to give my family 8 hours also.
Sure.
And just making sure that you keep it balanced and know when to step back from work. Because there are some agencies and organizations out there that will let us run into that wall and then just kind of wash their hands of us. Well, okay, he's gone, next.
Yeah, self-care is a 10, right? Nothing else works without self-care.
I think it's pretty close to 10. I think that there's something that we may have learned this past year that's so important, is the way to take care of ourselves.
I want to say 10 because it is super important.
I would say 8 is probably a good barometer by which self-care is manageable and doable.
It's been my experience that people that don't fill that back up and just give and give and give and give and give don't stay in the field.
Because things can become mundane and tiring after a while, and that's usually the first sign of compassion fatigue. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't take care of our peers.
You've got to take care of yourself. You can't give from an empty pot.
You're there to set an example. You're setting the example by, how you live and how you care for yourself. And people learn from that. People learn from, seeing those examples. So that's going to be number 1. That is absolutely, without a doubt, number 1.
I went a couple weeks without talking to like 3 of my biggest supports, and once I recognized it, because I was having compassion fatigue, once I recognized it, I stopped what I did and I talked to 2 of them that night, and I was supercharged again to be able to go help people again.
I would come into work and I would give myself 5 to 15 minutes to warm up to work. So this is not the same as coming into work to eat breakfast, but this is coming into my office, getting my desk together, or whatever my space was for the day, whatever paperwork I needed, having my water, having my coffee. Again, it's not coming in to rest or take a break, but it's really switching your brain over from personal to professional.
I enjoy playing games on my iPad, so I do that. Not at an unhealthy level. I don't do it like 24 hours a day, but I make sure that I have some time, an hour a day, 30 minutes a day to sit down and just do some of those games.
So I like fishing. Very few things recharge me than as much as when I'm standing in the middle of a stream with the water running and ideally catching fish. I feel like I'm doing better with self-care when I'm catching fish, but that doesn't always happen.
I gave my backyard a makeover, and I didn't stop. It's just I've turned it into a barren desert, into an oasis of love.
I had to shove my paperwork and stuff in the closet so that I didn't see it, and I still do that. If I'm not working and I have work stuff at home, I tuck it away so I don't see it. But yeah, my home is my sanctuary.
I'm dressed, I'm ready to go to work, I'm getting ready to go out the door, I turn and face the mirror. And when I face the mirror, I say this: I will not cause myself or anyone else any harm physically, mentally, or spiritually today. And I look at myself in the eyes when I say this, and then I walk out the door, right? And I try to live that creed.
Before I go home, I immediately leave work and go on my 3-mile walk. Because if I go home, I'm not going to take care of myself and I'm going to get busy doing things at home. So I found that if I do that right after I leave work, I have no excuses because I'm doing it automatically and not going home first. So it's a lot of little things. It doesn't have to be any huge monumental change, but over time, if you build in enough of these small self-care components, it makes a huge difference.